The Secret Treaties, a masterpiece or a complete mess? We're talking about an album filled with German World War II imagery, sci-fi conspiracies, occult poetry, and some of the most intelligent songwriting in 70s rock. Critics have called it brilliant. Others thought it was confusing, pretentious, even disturbing. So which is it? Today we're diving deep into Secret Treaties by Blue Öyster Cult to answer one simple question. Did they create a masterpiece or did they go too far? In 1974, Blue Öyster Cult wasn't just a rock band. They were a high-concept, countercultural proposition. A parody of the heavy metal beast that outdid the genre in hooks and volume while winking at the audience from behind the veil of occult mystery. Today we're diving deep into the story behind what many consider their absolute masterpiece, Secret Treaties. I discovered this album many years after it was released. I think it was when Metallica did their cover of Astronomy, and that was when I became interested in the band in general because of that song. And I knew about Blue Öyster Cult from their popular albums like Agents of Steel and Spectres. I had those on cassette a long time ago, but I never really did a deep dive into their earlier albums from the 70s until much later when streaming services were more available. I still don't have this actual album on CD or vinyl, but if I ever see it on a shelf or in a store, I definitely plan on grabbing it. But when Secret Treaties arrived in April 1974, Blue Öyster Cult's status as legends was far from guaranteed. The first two records, the self-titled debut and 1973's Tyranny and Mutation, had established them as the American Black Sabbath or the thinking man's hard rock band. However, those earlier outings were marked by a certain aesthetic schizophrenia as the band, comprised of Eric Bloom, Buck Dharma, Alan Lanier, and the Bouchard brothers, Joe and Albert, searched for their true identity. Secret Treaties was the final installment in their so-called black and white triptych. It was the moment the band truly found themselves, distilling everything great about their first two LPs into one spotless batch of songs. They managed to carry a varied range of musical styles and lyrical themes within a framework that was mostly heavy rock, yet increasingly sophisticated and finessed. Musically, the album is often cited as the band's proggiest effort of the 70s. Produced by the team of Murray Krugman and Sandy Pearlman, the record moved away from the amphetamine-fueled rave-ups of their second album toward a sound that was slightly more refined, yet still placed power and drama front and center. What truly set Blue Öyster Cult apart was their brain trust of external contributors. They were closet intellectuals who brought an underground literary sensibility to rock music. The manager and producer, Sandy Pearlman, was the principal architect of the band's aesthetic, drawing on influences as diverse as Rimbaud, Dada, H.P. Lovecraft, and a standard assortment of Dumo writers. Actually, I don't know what that means, but that's a direct quote from someone. Joining Pearlman were pioneering rock critic Richard Meltzer and then emerging punk poet named Patti Smith, who was dating keyboardist Alan Lanier at the time. This collaborative environment at their band house in Long Island meant lyrics were often treated like poetry to the mind. The band members would often go through stacks of writing from Pearlman, Meltzer, and Smith to find the perfect lines to set to music. The album's visual identity was just as provocative as its sound. The band was tired of being anonymous and wanted the world to see what they looked like. The resulting cover, illustrated by Ron Lesser, depicted five members standing around a Messerschmitt Me 262, the world's first operational jet fighter. The artwork is surreal and eerie. Eric Bloom stands holding the leashes of four German shepherds, while a death's head man the cockpit of the plane. The back cover shows the aftermath. The cockpit is empty and the four dogs lie dead, suggesting a ritualistic murder. While the band denied any political intentions, stating they were simply fascinated by the history-changing technology the plane represented, the imagery caused significant trouble. In Germany, some stores refused to stock the album, and the band was met with hostility during their performances there. Bloom pointed out the absurdity of the charges, noting that he, Pearlman, Meltzer, and Krugman were all Jewish and simply enjoyed the mystery and high strangeness that such symbols evoked. The album opens with Career of Evil, a track with lyrics penned by Patti Smith. It's a disturbing song about a nefarious individual with no moral boundaries, featuring lines that range from terrifying to absurd. Interestingly, song title will later inspire a novel by J.K. Rowling, written under her Robert Galbraith pen name. The song also has some pretty cool guitar solos, such as this one right here. Next is Subhuman, an ominous track led by Eric Bloom that showcases the band's ability to create a moody, elegant atmosphere. Here's another awesome guitar solo, or just a clip of it. This leads into the hard-driving concert favorite, Dominance and Submission. This track, written by Pearlman, Bloom, and Albert Bouchard, was inspired by a moment on New Year's Eve in 1963 when Pearlman first heard the Beatles on the radio. He saw it as a watershed moment where a new factor in mass culture affected individual consciousness. Check out the opening guitar riff. This was grunge before it even existed. Side 1 closes with ME-262, a turbocharged rocker sung from the perspective of a German pilot attacking British forces. Despite the fast-paced, rapid-fire strumming, the song is lyrically dense, describing the planes hanging from the sky like some heavy metal fruit. Here is the best part of the song. Side 2 begins with Cagey Cretins and the downright creepy Harvester of Eyes, both featuring lyrics by Richard Meltzer. Cagey Cretins has some awesome moments, such as this guitar solo. Harvester of Eyes uses jagged psychedelic rhythms and an awesome guitar solo, so check this out. And this song goes into the dynamic and dramatic Flaming Telepaths. Fans have long debated the meaning of telepaths, with theories ranging from drug experiments and burnout to cyborg creation, or even a metaphorical prediction of the internet. The song's references to poison in the bloodstream and circuitry minds certainly adds to its sci-fi dystopian vibe. Here's an awesome part from Flaming Telepaths. Check out this keyboard sound. The album concludes with the astonishingly finessed piano-led epic Astronomy. This is arguably the most legendary song in the Blue Öyster Cult catalog. Lyrics are selected verses from Pearlman's sprawling poem, The Soft Doctrines of Imaginos. It tells the story of an actor in history guided by aliens known as Les Invisibles to push humanity towards World War I. In Astronomy, the character Imaginos realizes his heritage, rising from the dead to transform into the female persona Desde Nova. The song is filled with celestial references from Sirius, the dog star, to the queenly flux of Cassiopeia. And here is a classic Blue Öyster Cult guitar riff. Secret Treaties was Blue Öyster Cult's first filler-free album. It catapulted them to arena headliners and earned a gold certification from the RIAA. In a 1975 Melody Maker poll, readers even named it top rock album of all time. The band had effectively struck a secret treaty with hard rock fans everywhere, establishing a momentum that would carry them through the rest of the 1970s. It remains a rock and roll marvel that combined power, mystery, and an inside joke about what heavy metal truly is. So after all that, is Secret Treaties a masterpiece or a mess? The answer is, it's a masterpiece because it's a mess. It's chaotic, strange, and sometimes uncomfortable, but that's exactly what makes it stand out. This is Blue Öyster Cult, the most creative, most daring, and most unforgettable. But I want to hear from you. What do you think? Is Secret Treaties a masterpiece or a mess? Check out my review of Cultosaurus Erectus. I did that a couple weeks ago, and that's a really good album. It should be appearing on your screen right now. Thanks for watching. Please like the video. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Please subscribe if you're not already. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and more. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.